All right, we're back on Morning Line with Barbara McGinnis talking elder law. The number on the screen, but we've got some calls that we want to try to get. This is our final segment, and we'll start off real quick with Celine. Hello, Celine.
Hello.
How can we help you, ma'am?
I was wondering about medical. If you go in the hospital, the medical power of attorney, I think it's called.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Okay, are you talking like if you go into the hospital and maybe you're incapacitated and someone has power of attorney for you that you've provided? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, when I went in the hospital, they automatically gave my daughter power of attorney without asking me, and she was making my medical decisions, and they weren't asking me anything or telling me anything.
Okay, and there was nothing, it never went to court, you didn't sign off on it, you're not incapacitated, they just let her make the decisions instead of you?
Yes.
That sounds weird.
Okay, now how do I stop that? Because I've got to go in the hospital again, and it's still on my records that she is my medical power of attorney, not me.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I'll let Barbara jump in because she knows far better than I do. I'm just curious because I've gone through some of this. Did you sign something? Did you ever sign anything, any kind of sheet? They said, look, we need you to sign this. Did you ever do that? Maybe you didn't know what it was?
Not that I'm aware of. When I went in the emergency room that night, I was really, really, really sick. And the gentleman asked me for an emergency number, which I gave him my daughter. But I meant, I did not give him permission to make her my medical power of attorney now.
Okay, all right. What do you think, Beth?
All right, so making legal decision making for someone else. You were always assumed competent until you were adjudicated incompetent.
You have to go to court to have someone say that, and she sounds competent to me.
Does that mean that she was at the time?
Okay, but even if she wasn't at the time, I mean, I know some decisions have to be made, but she didn't sign anything unless she doesn't remember it.
But medical providers can and need to determine whether or not someone has the capacity to make informed consent at the time.
Okay.
If she's so sick, it can be a variety of reasons.
Sure.
An infection, a stroke, lots of reasons that people would be so sick that they were temporarily incapacitated. And someone else needs to make that decision. You can give that decision-making authority to the person of your choice by setting up a power of attorney ahead of time. Or sounds like maybe what the hospital did was this surrogate decision maker statute. Basically, that allows them.
They had to
pick somebody to make decisions for her. Now,
that wouldn't continue though once she's gotten better, would it?
It really does not continue. Now, the other thing about powers of attorney, I think I've already mentioned this, you can revoke them. So you revoke the power of attorney by naming the person you would rather use. So it needs to be someone other than you. Because by statute, you are your healthcare power of attorney as long as you have capacity.
So you would say for her, if there's some paper out there or whatever, what does she need to do?
If she doesn't want it to be her daughter, then she needs to draft, have a new one drafted.
Yeah.
And provide that to her medical providers.
Oh, that's essentially it, ma'am. You can have a lawyer, and I know you talk about costs. No, I have to hire a lawyer. Having a power of attorney is not a huge form thing. If they came to your firm, it's not a fortune to do that, is it?
In fact, the healthcare power of attorney form, there is a state-recognized form that's on the tn.gov website.
If you can go to tn.gov, look for medical power of attorney, fill that out yourself, name someone else to be, whoever it is you choose to be a power of attorney, you probably need to have one, sign that, and then you go to the hospital and you say, here, I don't care what you've got on record, this is the new one, my daughter's out.
Now, in some instances, if they feel like medical providers feel like that incapacity is going to be prolonged, then there may be an emergency conservatorship.
Okay. All right, that's an interesting question. Real quick, let's go to Shannon. We've got one more call after that. I don't know if we can get them both, but go ahead, Shannon. What's your question?
Mine's really simple.
Sure.
I'm 7 years older than my husband. So I got hurt in a car wreck and started drawing disability when I was 64. And my husband a couple years after that, he had mental breakdowns. He's had about 5. And so he didn't work after that. So it was just my money, not much. And it was like $700 and something a month. You don't hardly live on that. Mm-hmm. So we lived on that for over 5 years, and then the Army started paying him and a check for where he got hurt. And so they cut me back. And I had to move out from him to be able to get enough money for me to live on. So how can they take my money when I worked for it?
Well, are you collecting SSI or Social Security disability? Do you know?
Well, I thought when you turned 73, it automatically went to...
Oh, it does. You're right. Oh, I didn't know you're that old now. I don't know if that's more of a Social Security question. Do you have a thought on that?
It is more of a Social Security question. Okay, so Social Security disability for someone under their full retirement age.
Yeah.
If you're drawing around that 700 number, you do automatically kind of think SSI instead of SSDI.
And any income at all. But if she's now 74, she's past all that, and she can earn as much as she wants, and they shouldn't touch it.
She's just taking. She's drawing her her regular Social Security retirement benefit.
So for some reason, I don't know why they would be taking some away from her because her husband now is all of a sudden drawing a military benefit.
That may be a coincidental.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Listen, that's something you need to call Social Security about. Point it out. I don't have the exact answer, and you know Josh Horn comes on this show every month. So if you still have this issue, you call me next month when he's on, and he'll get an answer for you. Let's real quick. We just have 2 minutes, Robert. Do you have a quick question, Robert?
Yes, sir. I just want to know, I've got assets like 5 acres, and it's got every time I try to get federal help or anything from the government, how can I avoid them saying I have assets and still get benefits?
Avoid the assets of your property and still get the benefits because they're counting that against you?
Yes, sir. Right now my land has my son as a survivorship and my daughter's name's on it, and I'd like to have it where I could still live on it, and how could I get in her name so I could get more benefits and just so I have homestead rights on it.
That's tricky because if he signs it over, they're going to look back 5 years. The idea is you're getting a benefit, and if you have assets, look, you got to pay for them, right? Is that?
You know, a lot of times we get upset and we think the government should give us more, but but it really does come down to the rules. It's hard for us to, you know, Mama said, you can't have your cake and eat it too all the time. It is a benefit, a government benefit. Then there's rules, and the rules are designed to make sure that it goes to the people that truly need that.
Yeah.
What I don't want for him to happen is that he think about inheritance for his children and doing something in that regard that would preclude him from being able to get government benefits now that would help him take care of himself right now.
So yeah, keep that. We just have like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So he should, there's not much he can do, but you don't suggest him signing it over to his kids right now.
Not if he wants benefits right now.
Yeah. Hang on to that. Yeah, and it's complex, folks. Barbara, you're awesome. We got a lot of good calls this morning. It's always nice seeing you.
How
and
fun.
I know many people have more questions. Stick around. In the next segment, as I wrap things up today, I will have their information on how you can contact her right after this. Stay with us.